Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video we're going through the Melbourne versus St Kilda. I guess it was almost a rout in the end. Melbourne kicking 100 points to St Kilda's 62. Yeah, St Kilda just looked poor again, and sort of a story of their season, I guess. Just another game, another poor outing for them. But anyway, before we jump into this video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into this recap. So Gorn, he went monster modes, had a pre-game injury sort of test, and 31, 34, 49, 38, and I didn't have him captain in either format. I had Nick Martin captain in Fantasy, and then also Dane Zorko in Supercoach, and so I burnt somewhere close to, I think it was like 114 points in Supercoach alone from Max Gorn not being captain. So yeah, that was just a bad choice for me. Salem 133 as well. He went huge. 26, 44, 35, 28. I didn't get to watch this game, so I don't really know what happened. Viney 105. May 100. He seems to have been. He also kicked a goal for the first time in I think 5 years near the end of the game when it was done and over. I think it was something, he kicked a goal to make it, I think, 98 to about 30. Tomlinson 88, Neil Bullen 88, Oliver 85. He somehow didn't score well. 18, 14, 34, 19. He's just not kicking on this year, which is really weird. And yeah, because he's like 25, isn't he, like 26 or something? I don't think he's that old for being a player that's sort of gone up, down, and about in every which way. So yeah, it's kind of crazy to see Oliver sort of already struggling to score or get possession. So if we look at just the, what did he end up with? I think he ended up with around 30 touches still, but it just wasn't, he ended up with 24 touches, 5 and 5. So he just didn't get up to his sort of 30 possession marker that would have got him to the ton. So he really struggled. Petrarca also with an 85 as well. 2 goals, 24 touches, 4 marks, 1 tackle. So he did really basically the same as what Oliver did. Did Oliver concede any free kicks? I want to see. Does it show any free kicks? Free kicks against. He also had 2 free kicks against. That doesn't help. That's the reason why he was down at 85. Pickett 84, McDonald 79, Chandler 79, Sparrow 79, Hunter 78, Ed Langdon 75, Rivers 73, Bowie 73. So everyone sort of just got in the 70s except for the big 2 games of Gorn and Salem. And then so Van Rooyen came back for 68, McVie 51, McAdam 40, Fritsch 39, Windsor 32, Petty 15, and Woe Whedon 13. So when you look at all these scores here, and yes, I've just rattled off the whole Melbourne team in about a minute. The big ones are obviously Gorn and Salem. They went absolutely nuts. Gorn especially. Viney hitting some form. Maybe if he can get some form over the buys, he could be a really cheap pickup, as I believe he's 800 or so. 774. So that'll be an interesting one to just keep a watch on. Petrarca and Oliver both struggling is a bad thing, obviously, for Melbourne, as if Oliver is, if they can't pick up form, then Melbourne are going to struggle, I think, against the better sides. And then also, none of their really other guys sort of just did anything. They sort of just all scored around what you would expect them to score. I mean, just looking at this, Rivers was 2 off his average, Langdon 1 off his average, Sparrow 10, Chandler 16, McDonald 19, Pickett 18, Petrarca 8, Oliver on his marker, Neil Bullen 9 off, Tomlinson a little, Tomlinson, I think that's how you say it. He was 33 off, so he was 1 off his marker. He was 1 well off his marker. May 23 off, Viney 15 off. And then even if you go down here, you start seeing Van Rooyen 19 off, McVie 9 off, McAdam 10 off, Fritsch 11 off. They were all just around what you would expect them to score, so no one really did anything that bad. Then we move over to St Kilda. Jack Steele 122. He was pretty big as well. A huge last quarter as he tried to will them on, I guess, which included 5 marks in the last quarter for him. Huge second quarter as well here, where he kicked a goal, had a couple more marks as well. 3 more marks in the second, and then 1 in the first, so I think he might have had a 10-mark game here. He had 10 marks, 2 tackles there, which is kind of crazy to see. Wangadeen Malira a 108 off of only 4 marks and 3 tackles. It's weird to see Wangadeen Malira have more tackles than Jack Steele. Who would have thunk that in a game? So he scored a 108, and then you've got Sinclair a 98. He just scored well in the second, and then aside from that, I mean, he did score well in the last when he kicked a goal. Wood 92. He basically did all his scoring in the first 3, and then a 5 in the last. Higgins, Dow, Wilson an 80 still for Wilson, which is pretty good. Kicked another goal. He's just continuing his cash generation, I guess, to a certain extent. As he just continues on, he had 18 disposals, 16 uncontested possessions there. He was mostly just on that wing, I believe. It's to a certain on both wings, to be honest. Henry 65, and then Henry 67, Bonner 65. He just didn't get going. To be honest, second half he only had a 24. Kind of annoying. He is probably one that I'm now almost resigned to holding, and he could easily just go down this path now of scoring 60. So hopefully he comes back strong in the next game, as he was on. He did have 41 at halftime. He just had a bad second half of 24. Where he just couldn't, he had 1 mark in the second half, and in the first half he actually only had, I think, 1 mark as well. So yeah, only 2 marks in this game for him was quite an awkward one. So I don't know whether they put someone on him or not. I wasn't watching the game. King 64, Marshall 63. He got slammed in the ruck basically in the first half, and then in the second quarter he had a 0. 2 free kicks against, 1 disposal, and 4 hit-outs in the second quarter for a 0. And if it wasn't for a big sort of tackle and handball in the 16th minute mark of the first quarter, he would have probably been sitting on like 5 at halftime. But then a 28 and a 24 in the second half to get him up to a 63. Still beats his break even, but not really. Hopefully can sort of get back into gear a little bit. But I mean, he's probably one that I'll try and upgrade Lloyd Meek from after the bye or something like that to either him or to English, depending on their form. Webster 62, Owens 54, Hill 50. So he really had a horrific game. Ross 47, Windhager 40. Don't know whether Windhager was tagged, because a 40 for him in this type of environment is really poor. And I think just for some reason, I think this is something that's ringing throughout this recap. The highest tackle number for St Kilda was both Henry and Marshall on 5. And then you had Dow, Sinclair, and Wilson on 4. Wangadeen, Malira, and Wood on 3. They just didn't tackle. As simple as that. They just didn't tackle. What was the tackle markers at? 44 tackles to 41. That is extremely low for a game. And so, they just couldn't get their hands on the footy. Hands on a Melbourne player. As Melbourne had McAdam and Viney on 6. Oliver and Sparrow on 5. Chandler and Pickett on 4. Gawn on 3 as well, and then 2 to Neil Bullen and McDonald, and then a lot of players on 1. And then a lot of players didn't even get a tackle. So I think that's more evidence of just, the ball, I think, had a lot of just slow marking type of style. Let me just check for the marks here just to see if that is right. 124 marks and 72 marks for St Kilda. So that is slightly above average, I'm pretty sure, from memory. But just nothing in this game really to look at. So Windhager had a really poor one. Wilkie, Stocker, Camaminti, Battle, Howard, Collard, and Sharman. Collard is so going to be minimum price no matter what he does next year, and he's not really a fantasy prospect anyway. So that pretty much is the video there, going through the Melbourne versus St Kilda game, and I guess I will see you guys for the last recap of the round, which will probably be filmed later today in a couple of hours' time. And that will be up at around 3 p.m, I believe. So anyway, just get around all the videos, and we'll have the 3 videos tomorrow, which will be the round review, the trade targets, and the cash cows. The cash cows is going to be like 5 minutes, honestly, as cash cows are getting injured, getting dropped, not showing up. It is just hell mayhem for cash cows. So that's probably going to be, this is usually around the time that I drop it. I think I dropped it last year around this time for cash cows. But anyway, that is the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.